Hey guys, welcome back to Watch Gauge. I really appreciate you guys tuning in all the time. I've got some big news with regards to NTH, and I want to kind of discuss what's going on out there in the micro brand world and in the world in general. Before I get to the new NTH models that we are expecting over the course of the next few months, I do want to talk a little bit about something that's going on that everybody's aware of. It's all over the news, which is the coronavirus. Now, I'm not one to panic or to worry too much about this stuff, and personally we're very blessed that I'm not worrying about it locally here with my family and friends, and I hope the same for you guys. But that said, I have to look at the reality of what is the impact on the business that I'm in. Now, as you know, many of the micro brand watches, and for that matter many of the big name brand watches, create many components, manufacture many components that are made over in China. And as you'd expect in any business, my brands and I keep a very, very close dialogue as to what's coming down the pipe for the future with the brands. So for instance, let's talk about NTH because that's what this video is about. Chris Vail and I are very, very in tune with what the next 6 months to 1 year looks like as far as production models, how many pieces of each model, and things like that. And he and I were having a conversation, and there is a real concern that we may run into delays and issues with getting those models that are in production here to Philadelphia where Chris is, and then ultimately here to New York where I am located. As of right now, the concern is low. We are looking at getting a bunch of new models coming in anywhere from April, May, June, and sooner possibly. So the concern for now is low. But that brings me to the point of our current situation and our current inventory. As you guys would imagine, I get emails all the time, and I love getting the emails, so keep them coming. I get emails all the time about particular models that I don't have in stock. When will I be getting them? And even the models in stock, I often get people say, hey, I'm not able to buy for the next 30 days or 60 days. However, I want this model. Do you think you're gonna have it in stock in 30 or 60 days? So I get all types of emails, and again, I love getting them. I love working with you guys as clients. So I just want to be sure that you're fully aware that the current inventory of NTH watches that I have, it is more than likely, if not certain, that the models of NTH watches that I have in my current inventory, we are not going to see again this year. Meaning whatever pieces I do have here in stock, once they sell out, we are not going to see again for the year of 2020 and possibly a little further. Not really just because of the coronavirus, but we do have other models coming in, and we like to keep the production numbers very low. Keeping production numbers very low, keeping the availability low of any particular watch, as you know from seeing Rolex Submariners and Audemars Piguet, and even a lot of micro brands like NTH and Halios. Keeping production numbers low keeps the demand high, keeps the values of your watches high. So it's all a strategic plan. So that said, if there's any of the current NTH models that you are interested in, I am very low on almost every one of these models. In many cases, I only have 1 or 2 pieces left. So if you have had your eye on any of the current models that are in inventory, don't hesitate. If you have any questions, reach out to me. I'll share my email again later in the video, but email me at john@watchgauge.com. I'm happy to help in absolutely any way I can. So let's move on to the new models that are coming in. As I had mentioned, we are currently expecting them in the beginning of April. Originally it was March. We're looking at the beginning of April right now, and we've got the Oberon II, the Nacken Vintage Black 2. Both of those models are updated versions of models that have come before. And brand new are the Amphion Vintage Gilt. Now with the Amphion Vintage Gilt, guys, it is very likely we are not going to see any of the Barracuda Vintage Black again this year. This watch is the closest one to it. So if you are interested in the Barracuda Vintage Black and you just don't want to wait a year for it, I would highly consider looking at, if not getting on the waiting list for the Amphion Vintage Gilt. So with the 2 updated versions of the Oberon and the Nacken Vintage Black, as well as the Amphion Vintage Gilt, these are all new models. And another model that I dare hesitate to even mention is we are getting a very, very small number of Nacken Modern Blues. When I say very, very small numbers, I am probably going to only end up with a few, meaning in the single digits. So the big question here is, how do you reserve one of the new models? As many of the watches I've had come in the past, I'm going to ask you to send me an email with you wanting to be on the wait list. Please be specific, that way I have your interest correct. So email me at john@watchgauge.com, and then in that email say, I'd like to be added to the wait list for, and be specific with which model. So if you're interested in the Amphion Vintage Gilt with a date, please put that in the email. I will typically reply to you within 24 hours, letting you know that I do have you on the email list. In some cases, especially over the weekends, because I travel a lot for ice hockey for my kids, on the weekends, it may be 48 hours or so before I do reply to you. However, please send me that email to john@watchgauge.com. Let me know which model you want to be on the waiting list for, and I will reply to you. And finally, I swear I don't mean to sound like I'm trying to sell you on anything. The models of NTH watches that I have in my current inventory, these are the last ones we will see this year. It's currently only mid-February, so there's a lot of time left of this year, so we're not going to see these models again. So if you are interested, I would suggest that you don't hesitate. So as always, thanks again for watching, guys. I truly appreciate your business and all of your support, and I will talk to you soon.